The sun was setting on Earth, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. People were winding down after a long day, unaware of the danger that was coming. Deep in space, a powerful alien empire known as the Zorath had set its sights on Earth. They believed humans were weak and primitive, an easy target for conquest. The Zorath had conquered many planets, and they planned to add Earth to their list. Commander Valtor, the leader of the Zorath fleet, gazed at the blue planet through his ship's window. "Prepare the fleet," he ordered with a cold voice. His officers moved quickly, their faces showing excitement. They could not wait to crush the humans and claim their resources. "Let them know the power of the Zorath," Valtor shouted, his eyes gleaming with confidence. On Earth, the atmosphere was calm. People enjoyed their evenings, unaware of the doom approaching from the stars. Suddenly, alarms blared in the command center of Earth's defense. "Incoming ships! Hundreds of them!" A technician shouted, panic rising in his voice. The screen showed massive alien ships blocking out the stars, descending toward Earth. General Miller, a seasoned leader in Earth's military, rushed into the command center. He had seen many battles, but nothing like this. "Activate all defenses. We must protect our cities," he ordered, trying to remain calm despite the fear creeping into his heart. As the alien ships entered the atmosphere, bright beams of light shot down, hitting cities and causing chaos. Buildings exploded and people screamed in terror. The Zorath were ruthless, firing at anything that moved. They believed they would crush the humans easily. The first attack struck New York City, one of the largest cities in the world. A bright beam of light lit up the night sky, turning it into a scene of horror. Cars flipped over and fires erupted everywhere. People ran in all directions, desperately trying to escape the destruction. The news spread like wildfire. "We are under attack! We must fight back!" was heard on every radio and television. General Miller watched the chaos unfold on the screens, his heart heavy with dread. "This is just the beginning," he thought. "We need to gather our forces and fight." He quickly called for an emergency meeting with the leaders of the military. In a secure bunker, military leaders gathered around a large table. "We are outmatched," one officer said, his voice shaky. "Their ships are far more advanced than ours. We don't stand a chance." "Not if we fight together," General Miller replied firmly. "We may be outnumbered, but we are not defeated. We have one advantage, our spirit. Humans are known for their courage and determination. We must use that to our advantage." Outside, the fighting raged on. Alien troops began to land, moving through the streets with precision. They were tall and strong, their skin glistening in the light of their ships. The humans, however, were not ready to give up. They quickly organized groups of civilians and soldiers to defend their homes. In a nearby neighborhood, a group of ordinary people decided to take action. They armed themselves with whatever they could find: baseball bats, kitchen knives, and makeshift shields. "We have to protect our families!" a woman shouted, rallying her neighbors. They formed a small resistance, determined to stand up against the invaders. As the night wore on, the Zorath continued their assault, but the humans began to regroup. In small pockets across the country, people fought back. They used their knowledge of the land to create traps and ambushes for the alien troops. Though the situation looked bleak, a spark of hope ignited among the defenders. The humans were not going to be easily defeated. They had a fierce determination and a will to survive. The Zorath had underestimated them, and that would be their downfall. As dawn approached, General Miller prepared for a counterattack. "We will not let them take our planet," he vowed, his voice strong. "This is only the beginning of the fight for our survival." As the sun rose over the battered landscape, the reality of the alien invasion settled in. Cities lay in ruins, and the air was filled with smoke and despair. Yet, in the midst of destruction, a new resolve began to rise among the people of Earth. They were not ready to surrender. General Miller stood on a makeshift platform in a crowded gymnasium where hundreds of soldiers and civilians had gathered. His heart raced with determination. "Listen to me," he called, raising his voice above the murmurs. "We are at war, but we will not lose this fight. We are stronger than they think." The crowd, a mix of soldiers and ordinary citizens, fell silent. They looked at him with hope in their eyes. "The Zorath believe we are weak, but they do not know our spirit. We will rise to this challenge together." The room erupted in cheers. The humans were ready to fight back. Miller organized groups of soldiers and volunteers, each with a specific task. Engineers would work on strengthening defenses, while others gathered food and medical supplies for the wounded. Together, they formed a plan to fight against the alien invaders. In a nearby workshop, a team of engineers and mechanics worked tirelessly. They rummaged through the wreckage of alien ships, looking for advanced technology they could use. "This is it!" one engineer shouted, holding up a piece of alien tech. "If we can figure out how it works, we might turn the tide." They worked day and night, fueled by coffee and determination. They connected wires, programmed systems, and created weapons. The humans were learning quickly, adapting to the new technology, and their creativity shone through. Meanwhile, in the streets, ordinary people also took action. Neighborhoods banded together, forming local militias. They armed themselves with whatever they could find: baseball bats, tools, and even kitchen knives. "We may not have fancy weapons, but we have heart," one man shouted, rallying his neighbors. In the chaos of the city, families shared stories and built bonds. They understood that their survival depended on working together. They made makeshift barricades from furniture and other debris, creating safe zones for those in need. One night, as the resistance prepared for their first big offensive, a young woman named Sarah stepped forward. "We need to show them we won't back down," she said, her voice steady. "Let's take back our streets." Her bravery inspired others, and they began to chant her words, filling the air with determination. The following day, the humans launched their first coordinated attack. They targeted an alien supply station on the outskirts of the city. General Miller led the charge, filled with a sense of purpose. "We go in, hit them hard, and get out before they know what happened," he ordered. As they approached the station, nerves ran high. Soldiers and civilians moved stealthily, hidden by the cover of trees and buildings. They watched the alien guards, who were oblivious to the humans' presence. With a sudden signal from Miller, they charged forward, launching their surprise attack. The element of surprise worked in their favor. The humans overwhelmed the alien guards, who were taken off guard by the fierce resistance. Sarah, armed with a baseball bat, fought alongside seasoned soldiers. "For our homes!" she shouted as she struck down an alien soldier, her bravery igniting the spirits of her fellow fighters. As they fought, the humans quickly dismantled the supply station. They took whatever resources they could find: food, weapons, and medical supplies. They worked together, showing teamwork that the Zorath had not anticipated. After a fierce battle, they emerged victorious. Cheers filled the air as they celebrated their first big win. The humans had shown that they were not just victims, they were fighters. This victory inspired more people to join the resistance, and hope spread like wildfire. Back at the command center, General Miller looked at the faces of the soldiers and civilians, each filled with determination. "This is just the beginning," he said, his voice strong. "Together we will rise to every challenge. The Zorath will learn that underestimating us was their greatest mistake." With renewed strength, the humans prepared for the battles ahead, ready to defend their planet and show the universe the true power of humanity. After their first victory, the human resistance felt a surge of hope. They had shown that they could fight back against the Zorath. As days passed, the spirit of the people grew stronger. They began to believe that they could drive the aliens from their planet. General Miller knew they needed to keep the momentum going. "Listen up, everyone," Miller called during a gathering in the command center. "We have done well so far, but we must use what we have learned. The Zorath will not give up easily. They will retaliate, and we need to be ready." The crowd listened intently, their faces determined. They had tasted victory, and they wanted more. "Let's gather information about the Zorath. We need to know their weaknesses," Miller continued. "If we can find out how they think, we can outsmart them." In the following days, teams of soldiers and civilians worked together to gather intelligence. They hacked into alien communication systems, intercepted messages, and examined captured alien technology. Each piece of information brought new hope. One evening, a young technician named Alex discovered something crucial. "General, I found a message indicating that the Zorath have a command ship stationed near the city. It controls their operations and communications," Alex shouted, excitement bubbling in his voice. "This is it!" Miller exclaimed, his heart racing. "If we can take that ship down, we can disrupt their entire operation. This could be our turning point." The resistance quickly began planning their next mission. They would strike the command ship, but it would not be easy. It was heavily guarded, and failure could mean disaster. Still, the humans were determined. They prepared their best weapons, learned the alien tactics, and practiced their strategies day and night. The night of the attack arrived, and the atmosphere was charged with tension. The resistance gathered once more, nerves and excitement mixing in the air. "This is our chance!" Sarah shouted, her voice strong. "We fight for our freedom, for our families." As the group moved under the cover of darkness, they approached the command ship, hidden by the shadows. General Miller led the way, his heart pounding. "Stay quiet and stay focused," he instructed. "We go in, take control of the ship, and get out." Suddenly, the aliens spotted them. Alarms blared, and bright lights flooded the area. The humans charged forward, adrenaline pumping. They fought fiercely against the alien guards, who were shocked by the sudden attack. Sarah found herself side by side with Alex, dodging laser blasts as they moved towards the ship. "We can't let them stop us!" she yelled, her heart racing. Together, they fought hard, using their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage. Inside the command ship, the humans faced fierce resistance. The Zorath soldiers were trained for battle, but the humans fought with determination and courage. They were defending their home, and that made them stronger. As they reached the control room, General Miller and his team encountered the Zorath commander. The room was filled with monitors showing battles across the planet. "You think you can win?" The Zorath commander sneered, his voice cold. "You are nothing but insects!" Miller stepped forward, his eyes fierce. "You underestimated us from the start. We are not insects, we are humans, and we will fight for our survival." With a fierce battle cry, they charged at the commander and his guards. The fight was intense, but the humans worked as a team, using their skills to outmaneuver the Zorath. After a fierce struggle, they managed to take down the Zorath commander. The remaining alien soldiers hesitated, unsure of what to do. With the commander defeated, General Miller rushed to the control panel. "Let's disable their communication systems!" he shouted, his fingers flying over the controls. He quickly disabled the alien technology, causing confusion among the Zorath forces. Outside, the tide began to turn. Without their command ship, the Zorath soldiers faltered. The humans saw their opportunity and pushed forward, fighting with everything they had. As the battle raged on, victory was within their grasp. The Zorath were disorganized, their confidence shattered. The humans had proven their strength and resilience, showing the aliens that they were not to be underestimated. When the dust finally settled, the humans stood victorious. They had taken the command ship and dealt a significant blow to the Zorath. General Miller looked at his team, pride swelling in his heart. "We did it!" he shouted, and cheers erupted around him. "This is our turning point. We will continue to fight until we reclaim our planet." With renewed hope, the resistance prepared for the battles ahead, ready to face the Zorath once more and determined to win their freedom. The victory at the command ship spread like wildfire across the planet. News of the humans' triumph ignited hope in hearts everywhere. People who had once felt helpless now believed they could win against the Zorath. General Miller and his team quickly began planning their next move. They knew that the aliens would not give up easily. "Listen up, everyone!" Miller called to the gathered resistance fighters in the command center. "The Zorath are regrouping. They will come at us with everything they have. We need to be ready for the final showdown." Sarah stood beside him, her face serious. "We can't let them take back what we've fought for. We need to hit them hard before they can launch a counterattack." Miller nodded. "We will strike at their main base. If we can take it down, we can end this war once and for all." The room buzzed with excitement and determination. They were ready for this final battle. As they prepared for the attack, the humans reinforced their defenses, strengthened their alliances, and gathered every piece of information they could find about the Zorath. They even managed to salvage more alien technology from the wreckage. This time they were ready. The day of the final showdown arrived. The humans gathered at their staging area, adrenaline coursing through their veins. They had a plan, and they were determined to see it through. General Miller stood at the front, looking at the faces of the fighters. "Today we fight for our families, our homes, and our future. We will not back down." As they marched toward the Zorath base, tension filled the air. The resistance fighters moved in unison, hearts pounding with anticipation. They approached the enemy stronghold, a massive structure looming against the sky. It was heavily fortified and swarming with Zorath soldiers. "Stay focused and stick to the plan," Miller shouted as they reached the outer perimeter. The humans moved stealthily, using the terrain to their advantage. They had trained hard for this moment, and now they were ready to show their strength. Suddenly, an alarm blared. The Zorath had detected their presence. "Here we go!" Sarah yelled, and the humans charged forward, ready to fight. Explosions rang out as the two sides clashed in a fierce battle. Lasers shot across the battlefield and the sounds of combat echoed in the air. The humans fought with courage and determination. They had trained for this moment and their spirits soared. Sarah fought alongside Alex, their friendship forged in the heat of battle. They took down alien soldiers, moving swiftly and effectively. Miller led a team to breach the main entrance of the base. "We need to get inside and disable their defenses," he shouted. The soldiers pushed through the doors, fighting off Zorath soldiers who tried to stop them. Inside, the chaos was intense, but the humans pressed on, refusing to back down. As they moved deeper into the base, they reached a large control room filled with alien technology. "This is it!" Miller exclaimed. "We need to disable their weapon systems." They quickly got to work, using the knowledge they had gained from previous battles. Suddenly, the Zorath commander appeared, flanked by his elite guards. "You think you can win?" he shouted, his eyes blazing with anger. "You are nothing but a nuisance." Miller stepped forward, his heart racing. "We are more than a nuisance. We are humans, and we will fight until our last breath." With that, the final showdown began. The room erupted into chaos as the humans clashed with the alien guards. Each side fought fiercely, but the humans had something the Zorath did not: unity and resolve. They worked together, using their skills and strategies to outmaneuver the aliens. In the midst of the battle, Sarah found herself face-to-face with the Zorath commander. "You will pay for underestimating us," she shouted, charging forward. The two fought fiercely, exchanging blows. Sarah's heart raced as she fought for her friends and family. Just when it seemed the commander would overpower her, Miller appeared, joining the fight. Together, they combined their strength and took down the commander. As he fell, the remaining Zorath soldiers hesitated, their morale shattered. With their leader defeated, the humans pressed their advantage. They quickly disabled the alien weapon systems, and the tide of battle turned in their favor. The Zorath soldiers, realizing they were losing, began to retreat. Cheers erupted among the humans as they claimed victory. They had done it. The Zorath had been driven from their base. General Miller stood before his team, pride swelling in his heart. "This is not just a victory for us, it is a victory for all of humanity." With the Zorath in retreat, the humans knew they had turned the tide of the war. They had shown the universe the strength of the human spirit. They had proven that underestimating humans would lead to defeat. As the sun set on the battlefield, the resistance fighters celebrated their hard-earned victory. They knew that while the war was not over, they had made a powerful statement. Together, they had risen to the challenge and faced their fears. The final showdown had marked a new beginning for humanity. The cheers of victory echoed across the battlefield. But the humans knew that their fight was not over yet. They had defeated the Zorath at their base, but there were still pockets of resistance scattered across the planet. General Miller and his team quickly began to plan their next steps. They had proven that they could fight back, but now they needed to secure their hard-earned freedom. In the days that followed, the resistance worked tirelessly. They helped rebuild damaged areas, tended to the wounded, and continued to gather information about any remaining Zorath forces. The spirit of unity and determination grew stronger among the people. For the first time in a long time, there was a sense of hope and purpose in the air. General Miller called for a meeting with the leaders of the resistance. "We need to create a strategy for the future," he said, his voice steady. "We have fought bravely, but we must ensure that the Zorath do not return. We need to establish a new order, one that protects our people and our planet." Sarah, now a key figure in the resistance, spoke up. "We should form alliances with other planets that have faced similar threats. Together, we can be stronger." The room nodded in agreement. They understood that collaboration was crucial. If they could unite with others, they could ensure lasting peace. As the planning continued, the humans reached out to neighboring planets. They shared their story and invited other races to join their cause. Many were inspired by the humans' bravery and determination. They understood that the Zorath had posed a threat to all, and together they could create a stronger defense. Within weeks, a coalition formed. Representatives from various planets arrived on Earth, eager to support the humans. They held discussions about how to work together, sharing resources and technology. This was a monumental step toward peace and security. The humans had not only fought for their freedom, but had also become leaders in the galaxy. Meanwhile, the remnants of the Zorath forces began to regroup. They were angry and humiliated by their defeat. The Zorath commander, who had survived the battle, vowed to take revenge. He gathered the remaining troops, plotting how to reclaim their lost power. Back on Earth, General Miller and Sarah were aware of the looming threat. "We can't let our guard down," Miller warned. "We must stay vigilant. The Zorath will not give up easily, but we are ready for whatever comes next." As the months passed, the coalition between the planets grew stronger. They established a council to address issues and make decisions. Earth became a hub for this new alliance, and the humans took their role seriously. They organized training sessions to prepare for any future attacks and shared their knowledge of Zorath technology with their allies. One day, as the council met to discuss defense strategies, news arrived of a Zorath fleet moving toward Earth. The council members looked at each other, fear flashing in their eyes. "We knew they would come back," Sarah said, her voice steady. "But this time we are ready." Miller stood up, his expression determined. "We will not allow them to take what we have built. We will fight for our new era, and we will win." The room erupted in applause and cheers. They understood that this battle would be different. They had allies, experience, and the will to protect their home. The coalition quickly prepared for the upcoming battle. They shared resources and coordinated their forces, each planet contributing its strengths. The humans took charge of training, ensuring that everyone was ready for combat. The time for action had come, and they would face the Zorath together. As the Zorath fleet entered Earth's orbit, the coalition forces stood united, ready for the fight. The humans were no longer the underdogs. They were warriors, prepared to defend their home and their new allies. The battle began with a fierce exchange of fire. The coalition fought bravely, using their combined strength to push back the Zorath. The humans led the charge, determined to protect their planet. The Zorath had underestimated them once, but they would not make the same mistake again. With each passing moment, the tide of battle shifted in favor of the coalition. The humans fought valiantly, proving that their determination and unity were unmatched. The Zorath fleet began to falter, and one by one their ships fell. After hours of fighting, the coalition emerged victorious. The Zorath fleet was defeated, and the threat had been eliminated. Cheers erupted once again, but this time it was not just for Earth. They celebrated their unity and strength as a coalition of planets. As General Miller stood among his allies, he felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. "This is the beginning of a new era," he declared. "Together we will protect our worlds and ensure that no one underestimates the power of unity." The humans had not only defended their planet, but had also forged lasting relationships with other races. They had turned the tide, showing the galaxy that humanity was not to be taken lightly. Together they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, ready to build a brighter future for all.